Here.
and Anne. And we had fun with our intro, just being silly. But now we're going into the serious stuff. I've always been interested in foods. Always loved to experiment with cooking. I read diet books and nutrition books and books on diabetes like a novel. I grab them up, and cookbooks are like an addictive substance for me. I like trying everything new. In fact, my son once said in high school, "At home, Mom, we we never know what we're going to have because you never cook the same thing twice."
Well, me, I grew up in New York City, and a gourmet meal for me is a Sabrett hot dog with mustard and sauerkraut. So, I mean, I eat about anything. I kind of have a cast iron stomach, and I love foods. And I especially love my donut with my coffee in the morning, things like that. And I could live on bread, wine, and cheese, especially the wine. So, why on earth would I give up my carbs and my wine? I thought that would be the hardest thing for me on carnivore.
So, the day that we got the great carnivore call from my nephew Denny, I had just taken a loaf of sprouted wheat sourdough bread out of the oven. Perfect loaf. I spent a year perfecting it, and I had a perfect loaf. Ooh, heaven. And then the call came.
Butter is better on sourdough too.
Yeah.
And then our nephew, Denny, down in California, called up, and he was just chatting around, like he always does. Now, he's a hard working laborer. He does tile work, very hard on the body, heavy lifting, down on his knees all the time, has tons of joint pain and other ailments. And he was telling us that he's been a year on this carnivore diet. Now we kind of knew he was doing it, but this time he was telling us the results. And he said his pain was gone, he feels better, he lost about 20 pounds.
50. He lost 50 pounds
50.
in a year.
Anyway, overall, and he was saying, Uncle Gene, why don't you got your shoulder pains and stuff? Why don't you try that? And I thought about it, and I thought, nah, I'm not going to give up my wine and my, all the good stuff that I really love, cheese, salamis, all kinds of good stuff.
Yeah.
However, he challenged me to try it, and my wife Anne was hearing all this, and
I said, no way.
She said, no
I'm
way.
not going to give up all my favorite foods for that. And my sourdough bread, no.
So I said I thought I could do it. And then I committed to him that I would do it because I thought it would be an example for my wife. And I asked her to join me, and that I would give up all my stuff that I love for her sake, for her aches and pains, for her diabetes and weight issues and all kinds of things. So that's how the challenge started for us both.
So, being who I am and being a skeptic and thinking every diet everywhere has a full plate of at least fruit and vegetable, which I love, never want to give up. And I thought, no, this can't even be healthy. It's not something I would ever ascribe to. In fact, Denny, you should probably get off of it now. That's kind of where I was thinking. So my research began, and I read everything I could. I looked at hundreds of YouTubes, and on I went.
On and on.
That I also thought, well,
findings right now, because they were what put us over the top.
Yes.
And so let's hear what she found out on two case group studies that were done about the carnivore diet.
Okay, and clients, these participants. 19, there was a survey done by Rivero of 12,000 participants for 3 months. 96 report significant improvement in all diseases. 95 improvement in gastrointestinal conditions, and that's another thing I have problems with. 96 improvement in skin disorders. I don't have that, but 93 improvement in mental health disorders, including dementia. And 91 lost weight and reduced body fat. And so those were amazing. And I thought, okay, the criticisms of these were that they were studies, that they were not blind, what double-blind tests.
Clinical tests.
Yes. But it's pretty hard. A person knows if they're only eating meat or eating other things to do a double-blind study. So I thought this was a pretty good portion of people and an excellent study. I have everything. You name it, I probably have it. And so I thought, okay, well, I don't expect all of that pain to be gone, but even enough reduction in pain to make me help get up out of a chair, which is really hard and painful for me, or walk easier, or all the many things, not need shots in my knees every 3 months to function. All those things. If it helps any of it, then it's worth my giving it a try. So I said, okay, let's do it.
Me too. If I can reach my coffee can on the top shelf without pain, or reach up to pull the chain on the overhead fan without chronic pain, or having to stand on a stool because my arm won't reach, then I thought, well, let's take the pledge. Let's take the plunge and let's see how this thing goes.
Okay.
Okay.